Haley, thank you very much. Yes, delighted to say I'm joined by Oliver Glasner, who of course is preparing for this Monday night football game against Nottingham Forest. Oliver, thank you so much for taking the time out. Just before training, you've had a word with some of the returning players, and what can you tell us? There any early indications of team news for this game?
I know it's the first time the English internationals are back, Mark Gay and Dean Henderson, so they had 3 days off, well deserved, and all the other internationals, they have to report back tomorrow. So we're in the lucky situation that the game is Monday evening, and then we could give them 2 or 3 days off, because for there they don't have time to recover, especially mentally. And yeah, we start today preparing for the Nottingham game, and tomorrow the squad will be complete.
I guess 2 names come to mind immediately, Adam Wharton and Daniel Munoz, who've had a couple of troubles recently. Do you think they'll be okay for the game?
I think so. Daniel Munoz is the first day where he did parts of the training session with us, and but it looks pretty good. Adam Wharton, yeah, as well. So yeah, we manage his issues quite well, and the medical team is really doing a great job, and I think both will be available.
Okay. And you mentioned, of course, the England players are back today, so the England players training behind us at the moment. Great international break for Dean Henderson, a start for England. Was there a sense of pride watching on and saying that?
Absolutely, and yeah, his first start for England, and also here he had great games for us, great performances, and I was really delighted for him that he gets the start for England.
Yeah. What is it about him that has been so impressive? What have you been impressed with him? What have you seen working up close with him?
Yes, he's very hard-working in training, and he's always he's very ambitious. You know, when you have a game in training, and it doesn't matter if it's a 4 against 4 or it's 11 against 11, he always wants to win, and he pushes his teammates. And yeah, he's just a great goalkeeper. He's a great person, and I'm really lucky that he's part of Crystal Palace.
Of course, you're getting to work on the Nottingham Forest game. It's a game that will be on Monday Night Football. I guess the start you've made, you've spoken about, and you've been asked a lot about the run that you were on, the excellent run towards the end of last season, and it's almost created this expectation. So kind of with that in mind and the way the season started, what will be your message to all of the players in the build-up to Monday night?
We go to Nottingham to win the game, so this is important, not just to talk about it, also having this honest belief that we can win there. And yes, we expected a different start, but so overall I think we can explain it and don't look for excuses, but there were very late arrivals in the transfer window. We had many players, and I think we had 7 players playing a final and returning back to training 10 days or even 4 days before the start of the Premier League season. So no time or very less time to train together, and now it's also the expectations are higher. There's a different chemistry in the team. Yeah, we lost Michael Olise, we lost Joachim Anderson, we lost Jordan Ayew, players who were part of this group for many years, and this influences the chemistry in the group. And now we had great signings, but very late, and now is building a group again, building the common way of playing. And yeah, we see in parts of the game, in any game, I think we were competitive, but at the end we missed. It's not that the performances were terrible. So we were close to getting the point, close to getting the win, and this is what we are working now. So to get this maybe last 5 to 10% back to having a win instead of a draw.
So in a run like this, what's it like for a manager? Because you're obviously hugely experienced. You've had moments, you've had great moments in football. You've had runs that are like this that test you, especially going into an international break. Does it consume you during an international break, or do you manage to switch off and recharge?
I would like to switch off, but yeah, I'm not really good in switching off. So, of course, I always following the international games and always fingers crossed that nobody gets injured, and because we need all the players. So, fortunately, all will come back fine. So, and yes, of course, many thoughts. What does the team need? How much? And it's always finding the right balance of input and freedom, yeah, because sometimes you tend to, if you don't get the results, you tend to always more input, but sometimes, you know, it's full, and when it's full, it's full. You know this from, and then it's better giving them some freedom, not too many rules, giving them successes during training sessions. We didn't score many goals, so all our attackers they have a little bit lack of confidence, and now is getting them confidence back, and therefore they need scoring. Now we create many situations during our training sessions where they can score goals to get into finishing moments, and this is how we deal with it.
I was going to say, but talking about the likes of Eze, Mateta, and the way they finished the season and they were scoring for fun, and then you add Nketiah into the mix and other players, what's that balance like? Are you close to getting the best out of those types of players, do you feel, in this current team?
Well, yes, we will. So, because first of all, they are all great characters. So they work very hard. So I think also sometimes now they let's say they work sometimes too hard. After training, so we had training sessions, and it was really very, very intense. And then I want to have some finishes. I want to have some finishes. I want to have some finishes. But yeah, great players, great characters, and sometimes it's just to get this goal. Yeah. So when we see our last game against Liverpool, I think we were closer to a draw in the home game than we were in the away game. But the result was 1-0 winning at Anfield and 1-0 loss, defeat at home. So, and when we watched the game, we were much more lucky at Anfield Road than we were here at home. And this is now also always focus on the performance. Yeah? I know all the results influence us, but it's important also when you have a winning run that you don't say now we are the best in the world and everything. So always focus on what we want to do, on the team spirit, on our belief, and then improve. And this is not just having one training and we get better. So it's a constant work over weeks, and this is what we will do.
You mentioned those kind of performances and focusing on all of those things, but when it comes to results, does it play with your head almost? Is there almost a feeling of, do you tinker until you stumble upon the right formula, like maybe a change of formation? Do all of those things go through your mind as a manager, or is it about just sticking with the plan and having firm belief that it will come?
A lot of thoughts going through mine and the mind of my staff, and for me it's important finding what's best for the team. It's not doing something populism, changing the formation just to change it. Yeah, if we believe this helps the team to perform better, to get the win, to get the best out of every single player, then we will change the formation, but not just to change something that we have done. So everything we do is what we are convinced that it helps the team, and I had these situations. Unfortunately, in any club where I manage, so sometimes, and it's football, this is life, it's not a straight way up, so it's always like going in waves, and it's also challenging you, and when you go through these situations, you get confidence that you can manage these situations, that you come back maybe even stronger. And so also we have now, for example, in defense, it's Mark Gay, he's playing fantastic for Crystal Palace, for England, but it's also the first time that he's maybe the defensive leader. Yeah, so he's still very young, with 24 years. Yeah, the same with Eberechi Eze in offense. So he had maybe 2 years ago he had Wilfried Zaha and him and the striker. Then he had Michael Olise and him, and so maybe he's left now. So he feels maybe a little bit more of responsibility for the team. But this is a part of development for each player, and so we're talking a lot and we are supporting them, and for me important is, if we don't have the wins, that the mood in the training is quite well, and that's important because this is the only way where we can get the turnaround.
And we spoke to Steve Parish actually when the transfer window closed, and he was full of praise for you, for the way I think he felt the excitement going forward. Crystal Palace, what's it kind of around this time, what's he said to you?
Oh, Steve is always, it's great to talk to him, because he's always very calm and he's very analytical, not so emotional, and he knows, like, after the game when we lose or having a draw, I'm not quite the best partner to talk with. But he's great, and we talk, I think, every week about different, and not just always about football. And he's a very good feeling when it's to talk about football, or even maybe talking about the family or something different. So this is, he has a very good feeling for this, and I appreciate it.
And what have you noticed about Nottingham Forest? Because going there Monday night under the lights, the way they've started the season, what have you noticed about them compared to, because you did play them away from home when you were at Palace last season?
Yeah, they kept the squad and had some very good signings. With Milenkovic in the defense, Sels, great goalkeeper, and so they have a lot of pace. Yeah, with Elanga, with Hudson-Odoi, they have with Avoni, with Wood, and a clear number 9, very physical. And yes, they have had a good start. So into the season with. Yeah, many draws. I watched the game at Chelsea, so they could lose, but at the end they also could win. So will be the next challenge. But Premier League, I'm here now for 8 months, and we didn't have an easy game. So it's always perform on your best level, and this is what we are preparing.
Just a final one. Obviously, England have announced a new manager this week, Thomas Tuchel. I'm just wondering your reaction to that. Do you think it's a good fit for the England national team?
First of all, I told Mark and Dean today that it's maybe better for them to learn German, because they have a German-speaking manager at Palace and a German-speaking manager with England. So it would be easier for them to understand us. But Mark said German is really difficult. I said, yeah, but I think it looks like it's the only way for you to understand us. But I think Thomas Tuchel is a fantastic manager, I don't know if it's the perfect fit, but I think with Thomas Tuchel's quality and the quality of the players, it could be a very successful fit for England.
I guess that obviously England will be expecting to be right in the mix for the World Cup, and in Tuchel he does have that proven track record of winning. Is it a good fit in that sense?
The World Cup is in 2 years. Nobody knows how the squad is looking like, what's about injuries, and many question marks. But I think it's a good start, I think it could be a good fit. Yes, absolutely.
Oliver, look, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck against Nottingham Forest. We wish you well, and great to hear from Oliver Glasner, the Crystal Palace boss. He's off to training. I think we've kept him back slightly. Sorry about that, but ready to go. Some of the international players are back, and they're building up for this Monday night game, Monday night football. It's Nottingham Forest against Crystal Palace.